Elizabeth Arden cream.
This one's wife kissing Jenner's ass. Yes, the sound of this one's wife kissing and rimming the ass of Kris Jenner. Might a narcissist behave in such a way after all? Doesn't the narcissist believe that they are at the centre of the universe? Yes, of course they do. But if the narcissism recognises that there is a target that can be best controlled through the application of sycophancy, of arse-licking, of butt-kissing, of brown-nosing, it will happen. Indeed, certain narcissists, typically mid-range, of which, as you know, this one's wife belongs to that classification, are often found to be the most obsequious of narcissists, turning up and oozing appreciation and admiration for others, all done, of course, under the guise of asserting control over them and drawing fuel by way of that individual's pleased response. It would appear that this one's wife was engaged in such a mode when she attended Kris Jenner's recent birthday party, for according to an article by somebody called Mike Hammer, writing for Globe, desperate royal renegades, this one's wife and Prince Harry are turning to momager Kris Jenner for help in saving their battered reputations and reviving their financial fortunes. The Diva Duchess and her husband Prince Harry were schmoozing up a storm at Chris's star-studded 70th birthday bash just recently. Well, let's just pause there. Was Harry schmoozing up a storm? From what I saw of him in the pictures, he was basically off his face, twisting his own nipple and staring at Kris Jenner's knockers. Anyway, the reporter explains they got a rare chance to rub shoulders with a litany of A-listers, including Mariah Carey, Beyoncé, Adele, and Martha Stewart. Naturally, such attendance would be important to this one's wife for the purposes of character trait acquisition and triangulation. According to the report, as soon as the fame-hungry pair arrived at the bash, they wasted no time kissing up to anyone with a bold-faced name. This one's wife was like a kid in a candy store, networking and handing out her details to everyone who came their way, says an insider. Now, pausing there. As usual, I leave it up to you to determine the veracity of the material. I provide you with the interpretation based upon her narcissism, and it is entirely plausible that she would behave this way. First of all, this is somebody else's birthday party. It is not a formal networking event, but that's not going to stop the likes of the narcissist that is this one's wife. She has no boundary recognition. She believes that she's with the people that are those that she belongs to, part of her grandiosity. She feels entitled to make these connections because her narcissism tells her these people want to work with you. Although she'll frame it as wanting to work with them, her narcissism causes her to believe that they are dying to connect with her because she's so special. This powers her to be so brazen to approach them. She has no sense of accountability for her behaviour. Anybody else would think to themselves, I can't behave like this. It's somebody's birthday bash. It's rather rude and unseemly to be going around doling out a business card or providing contact details or schmoozing in that way. A conversation might be had and say, look me up later, but to be going around like the proverbial kid in a candy store, it would be too much. But not for a narcissist such as this one's wife. A combination, of course, that she's in desperate straits because everything that she's doing fails, and the fact that she suddenly finds herself with access to all of these A-listers. She would literally have been foaming like a beck in a storm at the anticipation of having access to them. These are my people. These are the power players. These are the people that I should be dealing with. There'd be nothing to keep her in check by virtue of her narcissism, and all the more her narcissism would be propelling her to clamp onto them like the facehugger in Alien. She has the utmost respect for Kris. My backside she has, and is pretty awestruck that she's now on a first-name basis with the likes of Kim, Chloe, and their vast network of friends. This one's wife isn't awestruck at that at all. She believes that she is entitled to be on first-name terms with them. They will all be looking at her as if to say, who the fuck let her in? The lifestyle mogul is hoping her new friendship... rewind. The lifestyle mogul... How does she attract the title of mogul, one wonders. But anyway, apparently she's hoping her new friendship with Kris and her family will mark a fresh start, number 372, for her and Harry, who've become the scourge of Hollywood since quitting the British royal family. They've already been dumped by big names, including the Clooneys, Barack and Michelle Obama, and the Beckhams, who reportedly found them toxic and tedious. Clearly good judges of character then. The Duchess has now stooped to trying to befriend the TV clan in a frantic effort to revive her struggling brand, as ever. Well, hang on a minute, I thought she was a lifestyle mogul a minute ago. She's casting her net far and wide in search of big bucks and social climbing opportunities, even offering herself and Harry up for appearances on the Kardashians, insiders claim. Again, this one's wife may well engage in such behaviour. It is a combination of, one, her level of desperation, allied with the lack of restraint, which is caused by her narcissism. And the news is music to Kris's ears. It's common knowledge Kris wants to write them into the script for an upcoming episode of The Kardashians, while Khloe's excited to collab with this one's wife on her As Ever brand, says an insider. According to our source, there's even talk about Harry being involved in Kim's underwear brand Skims at some stage too. I'm sure that's caused many of you just to be a little bit sick into your mouths. Slowly but surely, they're being integrated into the Kardashians' world, and they'll be spending time together over the holiday season too. It's a lot for Harry to take in, but as this one's wife points out, there's nobody in LA who's better connected or more skilled at making money and brand building than Kris, so he's not in any position to argue, the source adds. Well, he's never in any position to argue, is he? Because he always has to do what this one's wife demands of him. Well, one has to wonder about all of this, that the fact is that they are being talked about more in relation to Kris Jenner's birthday than Kris Jenner herself, and I'm sure she's not particularly pleased about that. And they're aligning themselves with a family that gained notoriety as a consequence of a sex tape. Classy. So much for this one's wife and her facade. The desperation is such that naturally she will do almost anything to ensure that she clings on to the fame and the money. And Harry must really, at least even with his limited intellectual cognitive function, be wondering what on earth is going on. Now, I can certainly believe that this one's wife would have been running around at that event like the loser that she is, like an excited kid in a candy store, doling out her details and no doubt having people snigger at her once their back was turned. But she'll have been thinking she'll have been making brilliant networking opportunities. As to whether there'll be any collaboration with the Kardashians, well, the Kardashians don't need them. They're hugely successful, but it might be that their own need to remain in the public eye means that they're turning to royalty, such as it is, as a means to maintaining some kind of prominence and appearance in the public. And that's the next chapter that they are moving to. Given the opportunistic nature of Kris Jenner and her exploitative behaviours, it may well be the case that she sniffs opportunity, seeing the desperate straits that Harry and this one's wife are in, and that she's an opportunity to exploit them. This one's wife's desperation means that she's likely to see this as the appropriate life raft being thrown towards them. It would certainly be hugely entertaining to see them in an episode of The Kardashians, because invariably that would be done in a way to ensure that the Kardashians, who, remember, trade on drama and conflict and putting it all out there, would mean that the faux behaviour of this one's wife and her facade management wouldn't be welcome. And instead, it may well be the case that the nastiness and toxic nature of this one's wife might actually be seen in an elongated fashion. How fascinating. What do you think, valuable viewers, to all of this arse-kissing that's taking place? Is this all just a big publicity jaunt between the Sussexes and the Kardashians? Or is it a case of this one's wife taking hold of the name of the Kardashians and trying to make hay while the sun shines in a desperate attempt to try and reap some rewards before the storm clouds of obscurity roll across her land? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.